So Bitcoin is definitely dropping. So I'm going to try and give you a reality check. So this is my stop loss right now. All right. 4K. I want to make above 30,000. That is why I put in 8.73. So let me see. All right. That's going to be my second TP. But I think it can go farther than that. So 64. All right. Later on, I'll maybe get time to give you a lecture, but I have to go to bed for now. But I'm going to try to be blunt. All right. So I believe the second TP has already been hit. The day is about to end. You can see the first TP was this one. This is the second TP. So let me draw a line. Sure. Okay. So, yeah, just like that. If I had multiple orders, I would have taken partials, but this is a swing trade. I'm looking to hold on a little bit longer, so I'm not rushing right now. I've been making money on gold for the last 2 weeks, but if you haven't made money on gold, I'm telling you right now, this last 2-3 weeks have been the most easiest ways to make money. And I've been getting a few messages on people telling me they weren't able to make money. They were, bro. And you could tell with their mindsets that, well, I promised to give a lecture, so let me use that as well. The reason why people are broke and they consistently keep on being broke despite thinking that trading is going to get them there is not because of strategy. It's not because of capital. It's really mindset and preparation. So I'll give it in terms of high school or college. What kind of kid were you in your high school or your college days? Were you the person who over-prepared before the exams? Like, let's say you were reading months before, preparing yourself. Or you the person who was reading 5 days before the exam, 1 week, 2 weeks before the exam. And you'll notice every time the person who read 2 weeks before the exam, they always struggled more with their results, their reports. So the person who had A had over-prepared, whereas the person who has Fs and average marks didn't prepare. And they'll go on life, keep on doing the same thing over and over again. And that is how most people treat the financial markets. That is how people treat their finances. In this day and age, if you are trading and you do not know how to read a basic balance sheet or an income statement, you are, quite frankly, wasting a lot of time, and more likely you're not going to make money because you do not know where your money is coming. You do not know where it's going either. So you don't know your net worth. And this is a simple, you can even use ChatGPT for this. You just give it all your expenses you've had for the previous month, let it write down a basic balance sheet and income statement for you. Be honest with it. Give it all the details, where you'll be spending money, whether you're buying data, whether you're going out, whether you are paying rent, school fees, debts. Give it an overview of everything, and it will write down all your assets and all your liabilities, everything. It's the same thing I do when I'm trading the stock market. I have to look at all these financial statements of all these companies and where they're putting money and whether it's viable for me to put in, a position on their stock, because I can tell they're going to be making way more money in the next coming months because they've been frugal and they're making way more money as well. So there's multiple factors. Or they could be spending a lot of money on specific things and they're preparing for a release of something. So there's so many reasons why to, by now know your financials. And it's still honestly surprising to this day and age. There's grown human beings that do not know where the money is going and what they're doing with it. They just go through life unprepared. And I'll try to maybe iterate in terms of, let's say you're a father, you're a man. Are you going to let someone give a blessing to someone, a guy who doesn't have any financial responsibility to take care of your child? They don't have a plan. They don't have any knowledge on how they're taking care of they're just going through life, basically. People treat trading as sports betting. Miraculously, they think they're going to get to a certain level because they think I'm unique, or I'm going to make money. I've learned the strategy, so let me go back in and keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Right? So you think it's your favorite team because it's your team. You've done all your stats that you read online or whatever. You think, oh, they're going to score like averagely 2 goals or whatever. And you think that is how you're supposed to treat trading. Whereas when you're trading, you actually have to have detailed information on how to scale. So by the time you know how to make your next 1,000, because you know, okay, I have $200. How do I get to 1,000? How do I get to 6,000? How do I get to 10,000 in the next few trades? And the way you know that is by going through the charts and actually tracking the data itself day by day, if you're a day trader or swing trader. And you can mark out your strategy playing out day by day. And you've seen it. And this is why I make my members go through. And there's some members, I'll give an example of one person. So I'll give an example of my program itself. It's not a plug. I do not need you to come in. I really don't need your money. But this person came in about like a few months ago, like 2 months ago, right? And they wanted to learn the strategy I use. So I did, this is the program, join the program, watch the videos, learn how to trade. I do not mentor anymore because I don't have time to mentor. And honestly, if you actually think someone has the time to be your personal mentor, they're not making money. They're not really making money, unless they're doing it just because, but really most times they're not really making money. So if they have enough time to be there hand holding you, they are not making money. So what I did was just create a program that showed you what I do and how to get there, how to scale a little bit. So this person joined the program. There's over like 20 videos altogether, divided into 4 sections, right? So volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. This person for months only stopped at volume 2 and went into the markets. And he kept on messaging me, telling me, bro, am I doing this right and this? I'm like, I could tell, like, he was not really paying attention. I'm like, bro, I've already talked about this in the videos. If all you did was go watch them, understand them, repeat them, this would not be a question you asking me, because I'm not trying to repeat myself. That is why I made the videos. And I'm going to show the screenshot, of course. I'll show the screenshot. You can pause it and just read through the screenshot, because you can tell. Like, he wasn't, he was like, bro, I can't believe I wasted all this time. And I couldn't even complete the videos. Like, why did you join? And it brings me back to the same mentality. People go into the markets thinking they're unique, thinking they're going to get rich because they figured out, oh, this person has been making money, so of course I'm going to make money. Meanwhile, the people who are literally working as maids are making now $20,000 because they went through the videos. They're now tracking data. They have an advantage because they've already accumulated money. And another thing, most people are broke. And that is the entire reason we want to trade, right? We're broke. That's the only reason we want to make money. We just want to make some good money. Because if someone is showing you a lot size of 100, of course it's going to impress you. Of course you're going to want to do the same thing. You feel like you're missing out. But the difference is you do not know how to get to that point. Whereas if you actually took time and understood, okay, this is my reality, based off of my financials, I can only afford to do a certain amount of money, which means I'm not going to be trading gold for the first 1 month or 2 months. And that's exactly what I did after 4 years, because I was exactly in the same mindset as these people who 4.5 years. And I've been in this game for now 8 years. 4.5 years. I wasn't making a single cent. And it took me quite some time before I was making some good money. So for me to get to that point, it's easy to accumulate and put in a large lot size and make money. Of course, it's going to impress someone. But if you actually show someone a detailed version that is slow and steady, it shows you in, let's say you've been tracking data, you know your strategy gives you about like 18 trades every month on a particular pair. Out of those 18 trades, you may be losing 2 or 3. You have a method now. That is all you need to know. You don't have to mix in anything else because you've seen it over and over again for the last month, the other month before that. You're having an average of like 16, 18, and the losses are fewer and fewer, and they're way minimum, which means you have an advantage, which means you can now scale in. And I've showed you how to scale in from 200 to 6,000 to 17,000, which means by the time you get to 17,000, you are literally going into gold with one specific lot size. It doesn't have to be heavy. That is irresponsible. Because you've been scaling in, you feel you're now confident. The difference is with gold, it's much more heavier. Way heavier. So you have to account for that as well. So you're not going in. You think I can't be putting in lot size like 20, 30? Bro, I can put them in. I can do them in currency pairs. I cannot do them in gold and Bitcoin yet. I'm not yet at that level. So, of course, I have to plan out because I've looked through my financials and I'm meeting my own reality. Most people go in with a mindset of wishful thinking and think they're going to be different, bro. They think they're going to be unique. And I used to be that same person in a taxi. I was sitting in that taxi, watching people drive away with expensive cars and thinking, maybe one day I'm going to get there too. I'm trading. And I feel like I'm better than the people in the same room as me, despite my knowledge. But I wasn't making money. So trading has the way of, kind of like gives you an exclusivity kind of feel where you feel like you're important. You're unique because you know how to make money using your phone by pushing a button. You think there's something special about you. And that's the problem. That feeling, that's the problem. Then you mix in desperation, then you mix in indiscipline, then you mix in unpreparedness, then you mix in the wrong method. That is just a whole recipe for disaster. And I promise you, bro, that shit is not gonna change. It's gonna be another year. Same thing over and over again. I used to be posting, especially last year, every week I would post trades that I'm taking. Show them the trades. And it's the same two setups. They haven't changed. The things in the markets don't change because these people are using OMS systems to manipulate price. People are just going to draw up some random lines and think, oh, it's a trend line. It's been retested into and this and whatever. Bro, these people don't care about candlesticks. All they're doing is looking at pairs and how many orders exist. How many institutions, how many people are putting in orders? Where's the most volume of orders? How do we manipulate them and then continue our way? So guess what happened to the sellers here? They were right about direction, and then what happened? It took them out some more. So they drew their resistance or their support or I don't even know, what is it called? Supply? And guess what happened? You think by drawing key levels on bigger time frames and just like that, it's going to be because it started going down a little bit, you're missing out an entire move. It's intentional. They'll make you feel like you are right, but you timed it wrong. No. You were right. You were definitely right. But you don't know what the hell you were doing. You assumed. And that's the problem. We keep on assuming. We still treat trading like betting. Whereas, especially in the program as well, like where is it though? There's a document whereby you can literally put in data. Like you put in a pair, the date, a type of trade, sell or buy, you put in the lot size you put in, it calculates all that stuff, whatever. But you don't need to do that. Even if you yourself, you can go in your trades. When you take a trade, you put in the day you've taken a trade, and you put in the lot size you used, how many pips it moved, was it a win or sell? Sorry, a win or loss. Write it down somewhere, if you can. You don't have to journal how you were feeling or how you... No. You just have to have a method that is consistently giving you a significant percentage win rate, which means you have to go into the markets and actually see it happening over and over again. And that is the only way of getting a win rate. knowing how many times it keeps on happening on average. You can go in month by month, from January, February, March, April, May, June, July. How many trades were you taking on this pair? If you can track it and see how many trades you would have been taking, your strategy formed, right? You can see it over and over again. Which means, GBP or EURUSD or gold or Bitcoin or whatever it is, you're seeing month by month how many trades it's giving you, how many losses it's giving you, how many pips it's giving you, what conditions does it favor you. It's not wishful thinking, it's data. But most people don't do that, and they get lazy about it. I've had a few people who were lazy about doing that, and they were continuously stuck because they didn't want to track data. They thought, go into the market, go into the strategy, learn the strategy, go make money. It's the same thing. Read a book, you have an exam on Friday, read on Monday, I'm going to figure it out. That's exactly how you're thinking. And you're wondering why you're getting Fs. You're wondering why you're getting losses after losses. You think these markets are dynamic. What doesn't change is how they distribute price. What time they distribute price. What conditions they distribute price. That doesn't change. And it's been happening for more than 20 years. So, of course, you're going to draw lines and you think it's going to be the same thing. It's not the same thing. You just have to know exactly how to time it, bro. And by the time you figured out that part, now you have to figure out how to scale from whatever capital you're dealing with. After you figured out your financials, as a grown person, by now you should know your financials. You cannot be going through life not knowing anything that's happening with your financials. Not knowing your debts if you have debts. You do not know what you're dealing with. Like, it prepares you mentally, because you're now not going to go in blindsided. If you're being indisciplined, you can see clearly, and if you do not shift, nothing's going to change. I'll tell you this right now, like, you're wasting time. Don't even try trading. Just put it aside. Figure out why you are stopping yourself from getting to success. Because the last 2 weeks when gold was moving, if you did not make money from it, then why are you trading at all? Why are you doing this? What's your reason? What's your purpose? What are you trying to get? If you haven't made money from it, when it was so easy to make money from that, why? What are you doing wrong? And if you don't change that, you're waiting for someone to convince you or give you some kind of life advice and shit, bro, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to come mentor you personally. No one has that time, bro. Whoever's doing that, they're wasting time. I'm telling you, they don't make any money. I don't do that shit. I used to do that shit, but I realized it was taking me away from my company, my work, my effort. So I stopped even making content. Like, I didn't want to do content anymore because it was taking away my time, where I could have been making money and not trying to convince people to take their life seriously, because I was in the same struggle. And that's the entire reason I started calling this channel a different name. Then I changed it to align with banks, because I'm now moving different now. My trades are going to be way bigger than this. So I need to be putting in heavy positions. I need to be comfortable with holding longer. And I've been a day trader. So how do I elevate to that part? That's my next phase. From day trading to now significant holding. Like, I'm not even just talking swing trading. I'm talking position trading. I want to get to a point where I'm literally holding a trade for months, if it's possible. And all I have to do is just time it and sit back and be trading in the side, just trading day trades here and there. But when I have my ultimate move, that is it. That is how you make life-changing money. It's not by, you start by accumulating slowly by slowly. You start scaling in, making bigger decisions, and then you ultimately now have to be in a position where you're comfortable putting in large positions that you never have to think about ever again. That is it. Simple. But executing it is a whole different issue. That's going to be a whole task, because I don't have that kind of patience. So I have to now focus on why I don't have that patience, or whether I have to dedicate money on a specific account like I've been doing with my swing trading accounts or my day trading accounts. So what do I need? How much do I need to hold a move that is going to be worth a lot of money? If it goes against me, how much am I looking to lose? That means I have to go back into the markets, and then I have to go back into these weekly, daily time frames, tracking that as well. So this is how banks actually operate, honestly. They don't look at candlesticks or wave, whatever resistance you put. They look at the orders. How many orders exist here? And what do we have to do? Because imagine how many people thought that Bitcoin had stopped selling. Now it's going to keep on buying. So for me, when I was on a live TikTok session, I told people, I don't care. All I'm doing is waiting for them to show me what they want to do. Once they show me, guess what happens? This. Continuously. But most people, again, are just going to watch this and do nothing about it, bro. And I promise you, if the first thing you do not do after watching this is go into whatever AI, figure out your financials, write down your expenses and know exactly what you're dealing with, your actual net worth, then go into the markets and whatever strategy you're using, see how many times it keeps on playing out month after month to determine whether you have an edge and plan for that accordingly. I can promise you right now, you are wasting your own time. You're not going to get there. I don't even wish ill for you. I do not know you. I don't have any malice towards you. I'm just telling you the pain that it took me from 4.5 years to finally deciding to do that drastically changed how I traded and how much I was making. Granted, the money started becoming slowly, making money slowly, but eventually when you get to a level when you're making significant figures, let's say 5-6 figures, I'm talking 25K or 30K, like when you get to that level, of course you're going to be putting in bigger lot sizes on gold, and you can hold, and that gold move is going to give you like another 15K, another 10K, another 6K, 7K, 8K. It becomes just mathematics. Simple as that, because you know the lot sizes to use. I did not put in 8.73 by mistake. I did not. So of course you're going to see someone who has 100 lots. It's going to impress you. You're going to put in 200 lots. It's going to impress you. Oh, bro, he's the freaking market maker. Bro, focus on you. Focus on you, bro. Focus on you. Where is your reality? The distance between your reality and your wishful thinking has to be very narrow. Very, very narrow. And that's because you financially know what you're dealing with and how you have to get there step by step. And you know how long it's going to get you there, because you've seen your strategy play out. Even if your strategy happens once a week, and that is it, how do you maximize that week? Whatever it is, you need to figure it out, man. Because no one's going to come save you. There's no person who's going to take time out of their day, especially if they're making money, bro. They're not going to be there for you. Everyone is selfish with their time nowadays. And rightfully so. Because you have all the resources you need. They're there. There's no excuse. If you want to find something free on YouTube, you're going to find something free on YouTube. If your case is, okay, I don't want to waste time on YouTube and take years, then you have to find some other option. Either way, there's no excuse at this point that you cannot make money. It's been proven. So many other people are showing you they're making money. So figure out how to learn from them. Or figure out yourself. Whatever it is, no one is coming to save you. So you need to stop this mindset of, oh, one day I'm going to make it, bro. That shit is no... Every time someone says one day, you just know they have a poor mentality. And more likely they're going to be broke for a very, very long time. A very long time until they shift their mindset. It stops becoming wishful. It stops becoming one day. It becomes, what actions today? What actions do I need? What am I dealing with realistically? You start breaking down yourself as a company, as an operation. You figure out, okay, this is where my money is coming from. This is where my money is going. What do I have to do? Okay, I've been trading. This is my method. How many times does this happen every month? And that's not going to happen by back testing. Like I say, the markets are dynamic. Back testing, forward testing, that shit is useless. If you want to use it, use it. I don't care. But figure it out. Realistically. See it for yourself with your own eyes. That way it's undeniable. Numbers are undeniable. Mathematics is undeniable. You cannot argue with physics. You cannot argue with mathematics. You can argue with history. You can argue with economics. You can argue with science. There's so many breakthroughs. Physics doesn't change. You're not going to break the laws of physics here. You're not going to break the laws of mathematics. 1 + 1 equals what? 2. Lot size this and this equals to what and how much you're making. It's all mathematics. And if you don't have a detailed plan to get your next 10,000, bro, you are literally wasting time. If you missed money this entire month, when gold gave over 11,000 pips and you did not make a single cent, you need help. Let no one else convince you that one day you're going to... No, you need serious help. 11,000 pips and you haven't made a single cent. And I'm not talking 500. I'm not talking $1,000. I'm talking life-changing money. You need help. That was the most easiest way to change your life in the next 2 weeks. That's going to change your life in the next year, basically. And if you miss that train, you still have time to be taking advantage of this. You have more than enough time. Every day, every trading day has opportunities. You have enough time. You have ample time to take your life seriously. So, it's time you wake up. Another year is just going to end. January has ended. That's it. January is done. What have you done? What do you have to show for it? It's the same nonsense, bro. That's it. This is my last life advice kind of video. I may even take it down because sometimes, honestly, I don't want to waste time trying to convince people to be serious, bro. Everyone is living their life. I'm making money. If you're not making money, that's on you. No one's going to come save you. No one. No one. So, if you don't take control, you don't take any control for yourself by knowing what you're dealing with, knowing the realities of your actions, your decisions, your finances, especially if you do not know your finances, man. By now, a grown person not knowing your finances and you're trading, you just go in with your $50, you think, oh, I'm going to make 10K. Well, I'm going to make 500. Then that 500 is going to make me 10,000. Do you hear yourself? If you were a bank and someone came to you telling you that, would you give them money? Would you trust them with your finances? For me to trade stocks, I had to get certifications, which means I had to learn how to read financial statements. I had to learn how to read certain details. I had to get certain access to certain different things so that by the time I had investors, for my 2 investors, they were going to put hundreds of thousands of dollars. They had to make sure I was capable of what I was doing. My most money comes from trading stocks. That's where it comes from, because I'm making a commission on top of it as well. And I'm trading heavy accounts. And I'm holding positions for more than 2 months, 3 months. And learning how to trade stocks is way much more challenging than people think it is. It's not a kind of break structure, no. It requires way more than that. So by the time I tell you that trading Forex is simple, because I've been through Forex. I've been trading Forex for 8 years. I know how simple it is. And because I know, they're going to keep on distributing price over and over again. And they've been doing it for 20 years, doing the same exact things over and over again. Which means you don't even have to look at news. I don't even look at news. I don't look at NFP. I don't care about the reports. I don't care unless there's World War III. All I do is wait for my opportunities. NFP days, I'm just going to wait 15 minutes after. Unless I don't find it way before. But you're not gonna get rich just by getting one day and just like that you make it. That's why I say in the last 2 weeks, on gold getting to over 5K, 400, if you don't make money on those 11,000 pips, yeah, reality check. So I hope this was enough. If you do not change from this point, bro, you just keep on scrolling. Man, I just pity your offspring right now. Until you wake up, your offspring is going to suffer as well. You know, my mom suffered, bro. She suffered with me because I had the most poorest mindset. I thought I was the shit. What? I'm learning on YouTube, trading ICT nonsense, bro. Meanwhile, I wasn't making a single cent. 4 years. Demand, supply, all the strategies that you see on, I've gone through them extensively. So I thought I was the shit. Every time I would be with my boy, and we look around and look at people driving Mercedes, I'm like, bro, that's nothing. We're bringing Rolls Royce here. If you've been in that position, that's crazy, man. If you're still in that position, you're in for a very rude awakening unless you change something about it. I've said enough. It's up to you now, bro.